twabigo twevuluga muliaga mwasuze mutya. How are you my people? Muli bulungi? Ngeno mpise eno naye mama oba wano waliwo ekkubo ndabo wa taxi akkirirayo. Wa taxi jamu amukanze kiki? Walabika nno wano waliwo ekkubo. Kubanga eri wateeka okuba walijjudde jamu. Banange katulambule. Sigenda genda mu jamu ng'aba taxi bandaze anaaza luutu. Katugende tulambule. Bananga ne ateba gye tuli. Who can guess where we are? Who can guess where we are, people? Ani ateba we tuli. Naye kali ka jamu. Ko kakutte kangobere bana aba taxi olwa leero tuyinza okugera eno ne bansaddaaka. Naye kangoberere tulabe lino lye ligwa. Ate nze siige makubo ne kale gana makubo singa gavumenti egakola. Singa kweyagala kwereere. Baba ali abasinga baabo. Baba abantu bamanya amakubo bannange. Mwe teba gye tuli Antonio gwamanya ekibuga. Tuli luddawa. Muyombya ma good morning. Mugalasi Joshua Mix Farm to see me Eddie Ozamo Santu. Travel live vlog. Antonio random things. Yes. Nsereko Starch, Viola Namiro. And Morad K Momo, good morning. Ani ateba wetuli. Atete musoma bupande. Mulabe kubo, mulabe bizimbe, mutenga. Nange muruka ziri Kampala. Eno bade siyitanga yokko. Nera ba parking ene ejjudde na yera. Parking zonna zibamu eskudo, zibamu big honi. Big honi yiri wali. Naye ani ateba wetuli. Lero tuyise mu shortcut je siyitanga muko. Naye nange Uganda nene. Nemwe mumpereze yo KFC ngamba lambuza kati waliwo abantu abatamanyi nti kati some of you guys are too high class, you don't even know that places like this exist. Bakuzalira bukoto n'okulira mu ntinda nga bwoba ogenze ku ssomero ogenda mu mmotoka paka kugana amasomero gango smaka era bakunonya mmotoka ne bakuziza entinda. Kati bw'okuze n'ofuna omulimu ng'okola mu Nakawa era nobeera mu ntinda. Kati mu kuzimba ozimbye mu kyalo nozimba Namugongo kyali wajjala. Kati ng'ebifo bwe biti tobimanya ne makyegenda okukola bano. Ate mwe you guys do you know nti kati ate wano tugudde bwayise. Nzijukira no twajjayo nga tunoonya kigege. Mwe ate wano tugudde mu bwayise. Eno twajjayo nga tunoonya kigege ne batwaleyo ne tusanga kigege mbatize. So guys, today I just wanted to share what I do to make my cars safe. Onako olwaliro mbadde envuga, and this is something laba kigege indicator ekubira mu brake light. That's very wrong. Nine kubo liguka n'okuguka. Wano wenyini mulaba kati eri bwe weeyongera mu maaso ogwa bwayise. Naye siyinza butayita bano gye bayita wadde bwayise ndaba we yinza okunyanguyira naye kampite bano gye bayita tutegeereyo. Twakyamira ddala mukana akakubo. Bwe tukyama mukana akakubo mulaba wali ebitwe biri ebyaloole oyitawo katono waliwo eri kalina etannaggweeyo. Twakyama around then tusangayo kigege ngamba tize nga yali UHU naye ng'essaawa y'omuyaayaagi koze ng'agifudde UB oba UBD ng'ajagala $3,2 million. Ara twakyama waawo mu kabaati awo we twagenda. Naye kati ani yali baleese eno bantu mmwe? Waliwo abantu nga mbulamu awangaddemu n'akaddiiramu nga tatukangako eno. Kati guno omwala gugenda paka wali ku bypass naye wajje tulaga eno. Manyi n'okugoberera kuno nako kukoze ensobi. Naye nga mwasuze mutya? Today I was driving on the highway. Omanyi leero omusana gugenda kwaka. That is what I predict. Temumpita prophet. That's what I predict. Naye wano wenyini we twakyama wano naye sebo kigegera bagitunda dda kuba tekyaliwo zaaliwo nga 3 awo ngambatize. Kati mbadde nvuga ku luguudo and I found a Harrier, the old model. Ng'omusajja avuga mpola ng'ataddemu ne double indicator. Omanyi omusana gunaayaka ebiseera ebisinga tulabira ku lufu olw'okumakya olwo. Kati olufu lubadde lukutte. Kati mu lufu olw'okukwata the guy wasn't seeing properly where he's going, so he put double indicators. And the only reason he wasn't seeing where he was going was because he did not have his lights were poor, they were bad. Lights were not lighting. They were not working. You get? And I thought you guys, and I've said this time and again, but I'm sure there's still other people that be there nga amatala gaabwe tegaaka. Which is not proper. So how do you make sure that your lights actually do what they are supposed to do? First of all, amatala tugozi. Get someone to cause those lights. Baga wawula. Ni mama ko agent, the chemical. There is a cream they put on those lights to make sure that they probably take a longer time before developing that thingy. But of course these guys are in Kampala, and apparently the Lord Mayor seemed like he was fighting for them. This is a wetland, a pure wetland. This is a pure wetland. This is nice. This is nice. This is nice. Yeah, this is nice. Ate want to say what Chicago. Summaries guest house. Kaina ne kalina yiri. Ubirabi. Ne mache gendo kola bano. Nendo zakati batandise okutunda daisi. Yani kati wano bobotunda oguza munene wa government. Nalawe bali bamenya luli balina gayi gwe bamenye akola mu office ya president. I'm from a meeting with the first lady nenga ava mu meeting ne first lady yabeera baba. Nga ne nyumba jabeera mu butufuta meeting the our PPU ne bamnono baya bagamba atya nti have been lying, sorry. So anyway guys, good morning. Today I wanted to talk about the things you could do to keep your car safe. Someone sent me a video of a Golf Mark 4 burning. The Golf Mark 4 was burning, and we all know what normally makes these cars burn. So the Golf was burning, and I know that if you see a German car burning, it's definitely a wiring issue. Nze navuga ko Golf. Emorokezwa makanika bazo, especially the wiring guys, are not smart. They know what they are doing, but they are not smart. Kati eno simanyi manyi tulika wala kuba mwalemeredde okuteeba. Good morning Nick Wabuyi, Samuel Sisye, Mulamik, good morning. Bano ne machegendo pakola. Gilbert Pamba. But you'll feel like going to Kasensero. Whenever you see 4 taxis going, they can't be. The one that has a coffin, just into sitanga yoko. Otiang Rajab, how are you? Bukenya Abi, good morning. Nathan, Samuel Sise, Bananga Harrier 2016 model is dropping in prices. It came at 120 and now it's at 75 to 80 million in the bonds. How many people have 120 to buy that old car? Samuel Sise. You see the pothole? It's as deep as Lake Albert. Ooh. So, you guys, if I have 120 million, 120 million can get me a Suzuki Grand Vitara brand new from Sefao. 120 million can get you probably a Kia brand new 0 mileage. You get, so why would I be? Why would I go and buy a 2016 model car if I can buy a new car? Samuel Sisi, that's why those cars are dropping. Also kati abantu abamu atuuka nagamba kanzijemu ezange. Okitegeera. You know, it was easier for you to sell an old car at a very high price before brand dealers like Sefao, like Motocare started marketing openly, because then people did not know. But the Suzuki Grand Vitara at Sefao is 121, and I'm sure if you went and bargained and you're paying in cash, they'll even give you at 118, 117. You get it? So you can imagine. So why would I buy a Harrier or a Harrier 2016 if I can buy a Grand Vitara hybrid at Ontegere? kati ebintu ebimu webito bibeera. There are so many cars you can buy on zero mileage at even 100 million. You remember the thingy, the Starlet is at around 69, 70. Zero mileage. The urban cruiser, I think the urban cruiser I think is about 90. So why would I go and buy an old car, a Tambud Deco, at 120 if I can use 90 million to buy a zero mileage car? Kanaka kubo nkamanyi. Kala kakagwa ku garage ya gundi ya golf wali. Walo garage za golf ezikola kama emikolo. Garage ya golf neno kale sigwe kagwa. Eno hotel najja okukola marketing. I know that hotel. Tugude mu kikoni. You people obukubo je buli, you just have to know which bukubo to use. Kati kitegeeza Kasubi Namungona wafu for the guys that have coming from that side. Ndoza mukirabye nti obukubo je buli, you just have to know. Bade jala balambuza yeyo na imam. Naera kasita mulambudde kati waliwo abantu abadde batukanga kenga tebamanyi tosobola n'oveeka wala n'ogwa ekikoni. Leero mukirabye nti it's possible. Ateno yo wale kawajja kutambula. Good morning, Heath Moses. Malik, his lights were not light. Never nang. The lights were not lighting. Now, you guys, amatala, mugende mugoze. Omwana jagoleza emitwalo ng'ebiri washing. Bwe gabanga getaga n'okwoza munda. But anyway, if your lights grow old, okay. If your lights become old, buy new lights. You'll find that like for example, the car I'm driving is a 2009 model. 2009 model cars. The lights, the front headlamps would probably cost you about between 300 to 500,000 a pair. You get. So why would I be driving old lights that would risk me losing my life if I can spend 500k to buy a new pair of lights? So buy new lights if your lights have become old and they are not redeemable. But if they are redeemable, get someone to wash the lights. Now, after they have washed the lights, I told you that for me, I know one place where your lights can be fixed. It's City Tires. You go to City Tires, they have a machine. I did it at Bombo Road, City Tires, City Oil. They have a machine. They park your car on the machine, and then they time your lights according to what the computer is telling them. And trust me, by the time you leave that place, your lights will be doing exactly what they are supposed to do. Then probably the other thing you could do is buy powerful lights, powerful bulbs. Okay? Now don't just modify things. I've seen people go to buy projector lights that were not made for their cars. Now, if you put projector lights, it means they're going to cut the reflector. If they cut the reflector, it makes it hard for any machine to time your lights. It will be almost impossible. So buy stronger lights, or buy new lights, or get them washed. Second, guys, whenever brake lights says a mabega, the brake lights, the red ones behind, they are very, very important. Your car, before the brakes actually grip the wheels, those brakes have lit. By the time your brakes actually grip the car, the brakes have lit. Go make sure that those brake lights work. Bulbs eno emabega za 23. The brake lights bulbs 23. And you have bought bulbs. Oh no. Adagenda okona kawundo. Mumulabye. Ajitidde ddala no kumpi. So brake lights, make sure the brake lights work to avoid trouble. Then probably the other thing that I've seen people take for granted is the thingy, this the reverse lights. Bana imugule bulbs are reverse lights. Buy them because when you're reversing, you need to see where you're going. And if you have either weak reverse lights or if your reverse lights are not working, baby abantu bemusanga nga yatomedde ekintu emabega. Most of the times babitomera kiro because abeera talaba. Ate bw'obeera waawa awantu nga tolaba, you can hit anything. You end up losing stuff. You end up losing money. It's mostly money that you'll be losing. Okitegeera. Does RAV4 Valvematic exist between 2008? I have to research, but not between 2008, probably later models. The RAV4s, now the ones we call new models, are 2.4 liters. Yeah, they are 2.4 liters. Herbert, good morning. Obulanyo Herbert. Elijah Mwiru Yatua. Joshua Gambo Jagoberera news. Ndaba ogoberera bisore kuri fruitful. I've reached here. Now I've realized if you're driving in Kampala also, what about what traffic wobo yimirira. Waba wajja tambula okusinga watali wa traffic. Watali wa traffic buli omu akola byayagala. Abantu abo nabo balina olumu bataasa. So, keeping your car safe, first of all, guys, I've told you time and again, we are trying to keep our cars safe for the cars themselves, for us, and for the road. Because you want your car to be safe for you, the first thing that I realized in Kampala now, especially if you drive some highways, avoid very small cars. Like the Toyota IQ. I think the IQ is the smallest car in Kampala now. Then the Paso comes. So if you can avoid small cars, avoid them at all costs. Nadalango vuga highway. Akakamoro kakatono wataksa kwata kwatono buoti. Nofuno obuzimu. Of course now those cars passed safety standards, but that doesn't mean they passed safety standards in organized countries where drivers are good, the cars have updated technology to help them brake properly. But in places like in Uganda, where our cars basgan okuja 10 years, is this 15 years and older? Even a 1986 lorry can come into the country. That doesn't definitely have technology that helps it brake quickly. Lucky Mose, good morning. Eddie Pro, good morning. Ben Kako, good morning. Yeah, so make sure that you try as much as possible to avoid very small cars. Yeah, so I'm hoping to actually get a Prius. I'm hoping to get a Prius in Jigezese. There is hope after all. I've been in touch with someone that might give me a Prius. Ayinza okumpa Prius ye njivuge mu Jigezese, so hopefully I might get a Prius and drive it. I'm going to get it njivuge nga full tank mweri, njivuge malimu tank eyo. Yeah? Then in the full tank ha emotoka eyo evuga kilometer meka, because it's I find that it's the one thing that we need to know. Full tank ya Prius evuga kilometer meka, so that we do the math and figure out, is the Prius worth it after all? Because the Prius right now elimu million inga anamu something atano mu bond atezi ne moroke ndala zili mu million ya asatu mu. So we want to figure out, even with the factors of the batteries dying and all, is the Prius worth buying? Because the Prius is like the most advanced hybrid car Toyota, and generally Momoro Kazona, the Prius is the most advanced hybrid. Ochitegeera osanze wogume otwale hybrid, but let's see the math. Maybe it's worth it. Yes, Nathan, I'm not taking it. The person reached out to me Nangamba, you know what, I can actually give you a Prius and you try it out. And so I was talking to this person yesterday and I was asking them, Kakati, what are the terms? Nangaba, me, I don't have terms. I'm just trusting Arthur blindly. Should I have other terms? And I said, maybe not. So I'm hoping we get to an agreement and I go get that car. And then I'll drive it for a week probably. If it takes 2 weeks, then I'll take it for 2 weeks. Because if that tank ya Prius kurugendo rwenvuga, bwebe sorovuga 2 weeks, ngenda gula Prius oba bajimpole. Do you know why? Because for me a full tank does 1 week. So Prius bwebe sobora okola full tank yayo nekola 2 weeks. Zine moroke ndala kati otuma tugula za bwerere. Kati awo abantu mwenda bagenda ne mugula simanya zipaso vitsi oina kwata bakwasise n'ogenda ne bakula Prius. But that's something that we'll discuss later on. King Daniels, good morning. How are you today? But etemwera bida kugira mirimu ja pre-purchase inspection. Yeah. Aba ne banywa amata tusobola okugula Prius wenebe koza amakulu. Nebirala naffe tulina okufuuka ba doctor. But Giovanni oli mutuufu. So anyway, how do you keep your car safe? I've told you time and again, check your oil levels. Maximum space should be 2 days. Check your oil levels. I was watching a video. There's some Arab guy that walks around posturing, and he was saying that people used to love their cars. People used to buy a car and take care of it, but now they don't. You find a man having a car tamanyi na kuchusa mupira. It's shaming to find a man ngompira gwe moroka yo gutudde and you call the mechanic ngo imiridde wali oli kusimu. It's shaming. Techiri kobo ina sente obato ina, a man should be able to change their tire. Let the women not change tires, but a man should be able to get into the boot, get a jack their car up, put off the tire that has run out of air, and put a spare tire. But other regulations on car models is not fair. Right now 2021 Pencon already in garage, the engine needs a rebuild. Adrian, let me tell you one thing. These new cars are about looking after, giving the right oils, driving the right ways. You would make them hassle, but you know you can still import your car as long as you can pay their tax. You can even get a 1989 model as long as you can pay their tax, because the environmental levy now I think is increased. Yeah, after you try the Prius, you tell us the best mechanics. Nafe tugoberere twasalawo kuleka ogezese otubwire obe motoka erimu emikolo oba nedda emotoka eyo njagala aba Prius. This person actually told me yeah, they know the best places to buy cheap batteries, so but I want to engage them. Yeah, the price they said is very cheap for a Prius battery, but we will see. We will see what happens. Medi, good morning. So check your liquids in the car. That means engine oil. If you have a dipstick for your gearbox, check it. Check the brake fluid. Check the coolant. Check the washer fluid on our windscreen. Okay? Then afterwards, every week, look under the car to see if there are any leakages under the engine bay. Okay? You want to see, are there any leakages? Because if any leakage could lead you to actually repairing an engine or a gearbox. And you see, the reason why I'm very careful when I'm driving Kungudo Zetaka is because I don't want to damage the pans of either the engine or the gearbox, because when you damage those pans, then the car will start having leakages and then you'll see problems. Yeah, so that's one way for you to continue having a healthy car. Alex maso. On the left side, the lamp is not working, the brake light is not working. That's not right. Actually, a traffic officer gets you with a brake light that is not working, you get fined a better DMC. That's a DMC. It's dangerous. Your lights are supposed to be bright enough for someone to see that ono muntu ali mu kusiba okitegeera. So and this is something you can check. Nebofuna mutabaniwo I can get abba nemugamba linye ekintu, then he'll step the brake for me and for me to see if it's indeed working behind there. Okitegeera katola beri Alex endala your brake lights zikola okitegeera. Then the other thing that you need to do is check your brakes. Me and Moroka tetwajija mu bond around January, the brakes are still okay, but I've checked them 3 times. The brake pads imbadenzi kebera ate nga nvuga ngendo neka these brake pads ezijira ku Morocco kube Japan zitera okube ngumu. So but I've been checking them periodically. Yeah, so but the braking system is very important for your car. With a faulty braking system, you can kill people, you can cause damages, you can kill yourself. So make sure the brake fluid is okay and the brakes are working. Inspect to see that there is no leakage. Sometimes, especially the rear tire, the rear wheels, for people that have drums, where your braking system in the rear is drum based, okay, and not disc, is not a disc. You need to go and make sure that there is no leakage. Normally, these drum based brakes, the car cylinder in there can get faulty, and then it starts pouring brake fluid. Yeah, when it starts slowly, by the way. The brakes are not braking properly, and then before you know it, you're knocking someone. So you need to also check those things. And then the other thing that probably you people take for granted is the tires. Especially if you drive a considerable distance. People like me that drive considerable distances, people like me that drive long distances, like I drive 35 kilometers. I drive 35 kilometers just to get to work every day. Then I drive 35 kilometers to go back home. Yeah? You know what that means? I need to have the best tires on my car. I think it was Chris Fitness that sent me a video of a car overturning, probably in the US or Canada. Before you know it, the so you need to try as much as possible to make sure you need to try and make sure that you have proper tires for your car. Take a the moment your car gets shipped, what I mean by getting shipped, empira jimanyo funa njatika mu sides empira jijeko, because ogompira okufunya njatika anytime now gusobola okwabika ate bwe gwabika the it can be fit mulinda ko. These are refugees. Mubarabye. Are these refugees? Because there is UNHCR here. Yeah, these are refugees. Baba munsi chi. Nabana ate bazala. Abana basinga abakulu obunyi. Every adult has 2 to 3 kids. If they are a father and a mother, 6 kids. But I think it's what they have to do. When did they do the act? Go play. Because of one of Singa. But we should try to make our countries safe so that we don't get refugees. Because but because of the wars, they find themselves having after government. So keeping your car safe for you, for it, and for other road users, or for the road. Togede kumipira, togede ku brakes, togede kumatala. Kati, I think the one thing that probably you need to remember is the way you drive. Nabagamba, someone pretty close to me, Morokai Fula. And I think it hadn't really happened to someone that is too close to me, but Chatu Kau. And from that day, I don't know how Echigere Changachicha has towa. Kungudo Zetaka, I drive 40 kilometers per hour max. I used to tell you that, but sometimes Nganang and Pitam Koningira Muatan, Katsi in Muatan, 40 kilometers per hour must. Nti maximum is 40 kilometers per hour. At 40 kilometers per hour, you can still control your car. At 40 kilometers per hour, okutomera abantu kizibu. At 40 kilometers per hour, brakes osobola okulwana nazo. At 40 kilometers per hour, omune bwayingire kubo accidentally okyasobola okulwana n'emmotoka n'ogizza ebbali ate notanamejinga mmotoka notatomera abantu. That's 40 kilometers per hour. That should be the maximum speed. Togenda mu 50, togenda mu 60. At 60 kilometers per hour, it's very easy for your car to overturn. And that's probably something you guys are taking for granted. But most people that had their cars overturned kukubo ly'ettaka baali bavuga 60 kilometers per hour. Kukubo ly'ettaka kuliko oluyinja kye kisooka, kukubo ly'ettaka kuliko abantu b'amaalo. So please people, be very, very careful. Then probably the other thing to keep that will help you keep safe is making sure that you have a clear budget windscreen. That one jotunulamu simu JSM. I remember when I drove a Chibina with my first car, and one time I got an accident, and in that accident the windscreen got damaged. Kati omanyi makanika bano nayo makanika bankozeeko emikolo. A new windscreen at that time was 130. Ne banguze enkadde ku mitwalo 10. kati omanya biseera yo ne math wange yali mutono, ne math wange yali mutono. Kati olwokuba math wange yali mutono, nze nga ndaba bwengula endabirwamu enkadde ku mitwalo 10. Of course mwabangamu n'olukopo, makanika akulaga gule ne ye 10 zino zo original zijjirana mu mmotoka, okitegera okusinga okugula ziri replacement si nnungi. So guys, mulabye boda yetu yise maaso nga tuyingira ekkubo. That's the importance of the brakes. Nti aba boda bo tebaagala kumanya abadduka, but if you had faulty brakes or yoba omukubye temugirabye because it was really fast. But that's the importance of having good brakes. Akazimbe katokanda bikira bulungi kakali nako mukalaba. Joshua ne Anthony mwabagala okuzimba ennyumba za pangisa, muzimbe bwezi tumwegatte muzimbe ekizimbe bwe kityo mukiteekewo mukunganye nga milioni za 115 buli mwezi, because kati this apartment eteeka okuba nga ya milioni nga 2 buli apangisa milioni 2 ate ziri mu nnyingi ate no wansi ayinayo n'amaduuka. What's the difference between powered batteries and liquid batteries? In Friday, question Friday Mula. Question Friday. On these other days, guys, you bring statements so that we converse about them. When you ask questions, I don't answer. Tony Ronald, good morning. Good morning. Police officer stopped me and asked me, triangle kaliwa erogo musango, and it is a must for a co-driver to put on a belt in the traffic. Amos, yes, I thought you guys knew these things. I've been talking about them. You need to have a fire extinguisher in your car. That's a must for emergency. You need to have emergency triangles. Then these cars come with flares. But of course now kadomseka bwali kwatira flare mubuze flare bwe ndiji kuba ani agenda okuntaza. Because ulawo mundu kukwata ekisimbe ne kukimalawo fire brigade nerwawo okujja. Mukitegera. But you need to have emergency triangles. Muzigule guys. Buy those emergency triangles. Buy a fire extinguisher bere mu motoka. Bu fire extinguisher ba mitwalo ngebiri kitundu obwe motoka. Ne bu emergency triangle bwa mitwalo ngebiri esatu. Okitegera. Mubigule mubiteke mu motoka biberemu. Emergency triangles are for use if your car breaks down on the road. You can you put them in front and behind to tell people that you know what, this is an emergency. And then the fire extinguisher kati olaba eyo go for yayide senga omuntu yabadde ne fire extinguisher emotoka yeti yali yidde kugwawo naye yayidde negwawo because that person did not have a fire extinguisher. And then all the other cars that were passing them, none of them had a fire extinguisher. Bobo ina fire extinguisher ngo yagala kutaasa omuntu ngo yagala soka kwesereza fire extinguisher mugambe soko mpeche ebiri kyangu kinagula mu extinguisher tuzikize motoka ile bekinyi okitegera. But then you can buy a bigger ones. Fire extinguisher ziri in different. Kat fire extinguisher then gitwakozesa mu cafe twagigula emitwalo oba 10 ngirimu ne oxygen. Abera oxygen carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide. Mitwalo twagigula ndoza nga 10 Refilling is very cheap. You wear that fire extinguisher. I need to refill it. Ebero ku office wali obe waka. So anyway, guys, the other way to keep your car safe is by making sure that you use the right mechanics. Yeah, use the right wiring guys, use the right mechanics. There are so many things that could burn your car down. Of course, the major cause of fires in cars is the poor wiring that those guys do. Na akwata positive na amusa wataina musa. Okitegere that burning the positive wire is very powerful. The positive wire kati nate mukama akutaasanga omuntu nakikwa ne kati vitize kusikaka eti. Vitize kusikati. Antu ambeta gandoza nsoka ntubazaako mu ssomero tubayigiza mathematics. Vitize kusikaka eti. Vitize yo giraba bobo ina vits. Every time you're going to drive that car, put 20k. 20k, put 20k. Gobluwa bango ngendo okuvuga emmotoka giwe emitwalo emeka. Olazi. Ngovuga kumpimpi wano. Bobo vuga distance mpanvu giwe mu emitwalo nga 10. Okitegeera. Giwe mu emitwalo nga 10. But somehow I find that sigenda kuba reverse wano ndabawo bwana. kumanyi katonda akwogereramu ate noyagala omuwakanyi. Katonda ayinza okwogereramu. Katonda ayinza okwogereramu nakugamba Arthur awo toteekawo mmotoka gwe n'omuwakanya. Good morning. My friend has bought a field, a hybrid, but build is happy as the car shows 30-35 kilometers per liter. But that's the average. Kitegeeza emmoroka eyo emuwa between 24 between 24 to 28 kilometers per liter. Ukitegeera naye kati alina ogimaintaininga bulungi. Ka review kajja Nathan. Akram, good morning. I remember when Vits yakusikako ku kasozi wali ku YMC. Anti awo nali sinayiga math Nathan. That was 2018. Ate ekirala ka Vits ako, that was the first time buying a Vits. And I thought Vits yali nywanga pichi. So nga nsuubira. Nali sinateeka mu mafuta nagisasula nemba nga sinateeka muki. Mafuta kati nga nyambuka linge nensasule multiplex nesika. Naye Vits eyo nagivuga emyaka 2 teyaddamu kunsikako n'omulundi dogo. And I think since then sidanga mukufuna moroka yensikako okujjako golf ne Benz. Tekiddanga. Good morning. Okasenge ndo za nkuzizeme je misango gyo mini je bakwatiddeko gyonna misango. Bane guys abaina CVT gearbox. Hydraulic oil wa CVT mu mwesonyiwe. Temumukwata nako. Gwevuga mmotoka yo. Bwe bagamba nti it's lifetime fluid kitegeeza bo baakikola nga paka gearbox bwefa. Oyo hydraulic ya inokolamu. Okitegeera. Oyo hydraulic ya inokolamu. So we are trying to keep our cars safe. One way bagambye, get the right mechanics to work on your car. Makanika bwaba mugwagwa. I've seen people where they took a car for fixing. Ngobe badde yafunye leakage ku radiator. Nebagezaako jitiriza ato inatarenyeza ki hose pipe. Pipe ekyo bwatakinyweza ate mulukira ne bachamukako still. Okitegira because ate kati amazzi gayiika nnyo. Negagwamu moloka ne kuchamukako. Then I've seen people agenda okukola brakes for example. Bwamala okukola brakes ate nebazi I call it timing. Nebazi timinga bubi. Bwebazi timinga bubi ate moloka netandika okujaminga because moloka esobola okujaminga. Okitegeera. Field hybrid najibuziza nga lona bagitune milioni 5 mu 2. Galona bagitune milioni 5 mu 2. The reason why they sell it like that 52, it's the grade that they are importing. Why do I fear CVT? Because you have not driven CVT. Me, I drive CVT. I've driven 3 cars that have CVT and I have no problem with the CVT. Just make sure it gets no leakage. Mechanics should be treated like doctors and lawyers. Tell them the entire truth. Exactly. Tolimba. Then there are people, my followers here that have when we buy the car, I tell them the first 3 months work with this mechanic. It's not like I make any money from the mechanic, but when I tell you to work with a certain mechanic, there is a reason why I'm telling you to work with him. For example, if we go to inspect a car, and I realize that a certain mechanic will be good to work on it, I know why. Now, normally people want to be sharp. Naga kangende wa mechanic omulala. Ba mechanic abala bakolako emikolo. Akulaba ngo oli mupye moroka wakajigula. And normally the tech they use is that bakutomeze ne moroka nfu. Yena atandika okukola ki? Nakolera list y'ebintu by'olina okukola. There is a lady twagula naye moroka. Najitwala. Now I gave her a mechanic. The mechanic gave her an assistant. You know how you have an apprentice that is working with you, so the mechanic gave her an apprentice. Now this lady started working with the apprentice. Then she kind of kicked away the mechanic guna mukwasa. Ata nkokola na apprentice. Kada apprentice aine ebintu byatamanyi. Kada apprentice nakolanga bwayino nakola bwayino. Na eventually she changed the mechanic. She got another mechanic. Then that other mechanic gave her a list. Bino byo inokola. Nenga ate moroka je twagula. It was solid. nga teyina byakola batandika omukolako emikolo eventually ne bamugana okufuuwa emmotoka bamuggyemu akakaddeko okufuuwa emmotoka emmotoka gye baali balina ofuuyira enkaaga oba ataano bagifuuye ate bagifuuye bubi even with the money they took from her n'atuuka emmotoka n'emutama kati ng'ayagala kujejjako okitegeera. Now those things will happen, so you just need to get the right mechanic and tell them the truth like Atahu has said. Planning to buy a Vitz on UBL at around 15 million. Naikisoboka. I thought you saw it, Akiram. If you saw it UBL 15, go ahead and buy. Me, I can't say nothing. I no longer said that things are impossible. It's very possible. When I bought my Vitz, it feels like a border. Yans kakao kwa kesha traffic light. I drive half tank. How long do I change the gearbox oil? Don't change, you drive. CVT gearboxes drive. As long as it has no leakage, go jivugi. Then there is also another thing. I don't know. Mugarasi Joshua go mechanic. There is something that I've read about. Emoroka ebeda nga CVT akadiye. Nga muli muna bupatiko bw'ebyuma. Bupatiko bw'ebyuma obwo busavinga to seal the holes that would otherwise be there. Kati ne bubanga nabwo mu bukadde bwa hydraulic oyo ate ayambe emoroka okusigala ng'ekola optimumly. Kati bwe n'okyusa hydraulic n'oteekamu omupya n'obuuma buli bwonna bwonna obadde mu hydraulic omukadde wonna n'obuyiwa. Kati ne weesanga nti gearbox ebadde ekola ebirungi luli tekyasobola kubikola because right now hydraulic gw'otaddemu ate mupya nnyo. Okitegeera. So that's something. Abantu avuga CVT muvuge. N'abavuga ziri gearbox eza bulijjo. Bwe batalina kyeyakubanjizza nga talina leakage vuga moroka yo. Okitegeera. Nathan nabagambe Dubai Joshua asobola okubakolera ku inspection. Dubai sijja kujja. Olaba n'aba country sibakolera inspection. As a matter of fact, even trackers, I'm not doing tracking installation up country. Kasitoso ka Kampala wakiso. Kampala wakiso. Atene wakiso Kampala metropolitan jetukumako. Tetujja genda eri wakiso eri tuwa transport. Ninga ye wakiso tusobola mukola. Parking a car and you find out that the battery cannot start the engine. I'm bringing sample jump starters. I'm bringing a machine that has a jump starter and compressor for the air pressure. So I've bought 2 samples for now. I want to keep one in my car because there is a time nali manyi nti ne moroka yange battery weddeko. Of course yaite weddeko. I realized that ekikondo oba nagenda ne batakinyweza. So nezdamu na ekinyweza, but then I thought eriye wange jembeera battery emana negwako omuliro, what would I do? Okitegeera. So it's always bobo solo kuyanika jump starting machine mu motoka yo. Get the jump starting machine or you take a motoka yo so that you don't worry. Nga wonna olage motoka bwegana, you just hook the jump starting machine there no kuba motoka yo no ogenda. Okitegeera. So ebintu byokugamba nti motoka eganya okuba battery yaweddeko ate kati tutandika otupangise abaana bajje batujampiga ku machine obulina okubeerawo. Yeah, so anyway guys, hopefully very soon I'm going to be having Ngedavuga Prius hopefully for like a week or 2. Nenja jivuga week mumudize motoka yi emotoka etali yo ebamwe efuna ebizibu nga nyajivuga ka week ngaka mumudize motoka yo, then I'll give you a conclusion on the hybrid. Tulaboba Martha agatta Martha oyo kintu kikulu nnyo. Okitegera after doing inspection mateka, it doesn't matter where it is, even if you already bought it. After I was told the inspection and tell you what you should improve on the car. Akasente nkaliye eno kojagaliza. After I'm planning to buy a car at around 10 to 13, which cars? That's a question. That's a question. It's for Friday, not today. It's good. Friday is like a day away. So that's a question. Isoba Ivan, good morning. I removed one terminal of the battery after parking and coming back, putting back the terminal, the engine started. Terminal. But over machine of jump starting and I call Mukanzaka. Of course, I have one in my car now. sicha chama na petrol station kupika. I just hook my thing and I balance the tire pressure. No kwera likire bye nera likidanga nzikira edda nali mvuga namukado mpira ne guntulako ngendo kibera ne spare yaweddemu omukka ato kole boda guy oyo wa boda nandi yako omutwalo gumu n'ekitundu okutwala kuba jembera wala n'amafuta nanzija ko omutwalo gumu n'ekitundu okutwala ompira gwange ogupikamu. And from that day I learned that as a person, whenever you can, make sure that that you have that car compressor in your car. Which together, guys, we are going to keep our cars safe. Now that this person has talked about it, the terminal, the positive terminal on your battery. Positive terminal on your battery, it can even burn the car. The positive terminal of the battery. For the guys, probably there is a time I was going abroad, and they said nanina kagula kaldina yangi. Katinga mugaraji mwakajamo muvubuka bogorozi. Mugaraji unali parking in Morocco. Kati najja ku battery yanga agenda jumping. Nali ngamba kirize ebiseere. Nagenda jumping a certain car. Bwakomya awe mmotoka. Okuba battery yanga atenge wedo nga balina ofune Morocco college. No yaite weddeko yali asiba. Kati mukusibya ekikondo kya positive. You know spanners can be long, eh? Na ejira spanner nekona ku body. Distributor yeze Morocco zalinga the distributor. Kati now what the distributor did, the coils do now. E Morocco distributor nekuba nga amafuta gange sende zinabadde nazo zitadde amafuta mu kaldina nsobola okugenda ko ku airport bantwale ku airport. And that time I wasn't really aware that you could go with your car no parking at airport no jino naongo komao. Sometimes it's cheaper, especially for people like me that travel for like a few days and then you come back. Ochitegera. Nesa ni checho chenyini. Kati era prayer say we najifuna omuntu oyo ngena musaba Morocco yo nayo njikoleko review. Of course kati mwalabe number plate nzikuweka. So no one would ever know that it's your car. Set up a TikTok live so the love of cars can share spoken discussions. Yes, I really want to do a TikTok live, but for you guys, mugenze muchege ndiza chemmanyinti. I do my live broadcast when I'm in transit. That's literally when I get the time. Nti okuja ko ne ku weekend I could nsobola okola live za mirundi video on 2 phones. But normally the live broadcasts I had, especially when you normally like me, it's very hard for you to say katikati nina kola live kusawa weziti. If you realize the people that do live broadcasts, kati abe Morocco abasinga bakola live broadcasts ateba broker, because that's their job to show the cars that they are selling. So I found that YouTube was very good to me. I can do a live broadcast as I drive. TikTok you can't. You cannot do a live broadcast as you drive on TikTok. It's the movement. I think the movement of sometimes the movement of blocking all the movement. It's not like it's not safe. You're operating a phone. The phone can be there and you simply, it's like recording with the dash cam, which take it. But apparently TikTok doesn't allow that, and that's why I can't. But also TikTok for me is a fishing ground. I want the people that value the information that we share on this channel to actually end up on YouTube. So doing TikTok lives would sort of make the process not important. Which together nenga mwebale kubira ku broadcast twine dakika 10. As a professional old car owner, I tell you, you must be with knowledge in all mechanics for your car, otherwise you'll say a motor car. Yes, has a hole. You're very right. I found that when you go to the garage, it's important that you know what needs to be fixed, because sometimes the mechanics also have no idea. Some of the mechanics that work on our cars don't even have cars. Some of the mechanics don't even have cars. So a person that doesn't have a car will simply be guessing. Because it has never happened to him, because he doesn't drive a car, he will think you're lying. So that akute ugende. So Like as a whole, the professional old car owner has told you, it's important that you have an idea about what you want to fix. Probably ekirala you guys kyemulina okujjukira with hybrid vehicles, abagala ogula hybrid vehicles, you need to service the engine oba the motor, you need to also service the battery pack. So it's important for you to understand that buying a hybrid also calls for more maintenance costs. Oberengo oli ready kireme kutuukako atogambe ate koti kino saakimanya. Kati it's important to also get a place where you service. When this car is still new nga tena tuka kwetaaga service, it's very okay. Naye ate bw'inaatuuka nga yeetaaga okubeera eki nga yeetaaga. The other thing that you guys need to do to make sure that your cars are safe, mulaba natties nezisiba emipiira. As a matter of fact, I'm going to check mine today. Every couple of months, kebere emisumaali egyo kakasente ginywera. Kikyali minywevu. Because omupiira gujja kwesumulula. Nze nali nvuzeeko emmotoka ate nga nali nzuluka nina wire ekintu kida guju. I think nalina ku live broadcast wano. Kintu kida guju nengamba bakiki ekyafudde. We stopped, nali ne muto wange oyo. We stopped nga tumanyi bakiki ekirwadde. Tugenda okutuuka nga actually mmoloka eno ng'omupiira natti zaasumulukuse. So always make sure that you can check and listen to the car. Listen to the car as much as possible. Jiwulirize nnyo. Muyombya Mark Mugalasi, Joshua Mixed Farm, Tusime Eddie Ozamo Santu, Travel Live Vlog, Antonio Random Things, Rico Starch, Viola Namiro, Murad K Momo, Nick Wabuyi, Samuel Sisi, Mulamik, Gilbert Pamba, Ozamo Santu, Otiang Rajab, Bukenya Abi, Nathan, Paul Sema, Travolta Nyeko, Elijah Mwiru Yatua, Mulamik, Heath Moses, Habat Ben Kako, Lucky Mose, Eddie Pro, King Daniels, Jovan Mugume, Sebugwao Medi, Clinton 256, Twa Hawarakira, Dan Chiguli, Todi Ronald, Kasenge Amos, Kagama Enoch, Akiram, Kanso Patrick Asiku, Atahu Chivuna, Muyanja James, Isoba Ivan, Madidat, Hazy Hole. Muyanja James is saying that challenge of finding the battery not able to start the engine couldn't charge it on alternative discharging or an error in wiring. Hey, go. Ben Kako, nange kyantuukako nasangako natti emu. Makanika yali tazinywezezza. It's very possible, by the way, check all your nuts to make sure that they are very safe. Banange dakiika ziriyo mukaaga, kati zine dakiika omukaaga. Abuuze ekibuuzo kati. Se yakibuuzizza edda, abuuze ekibuuzo kati kiddamu. Nsobola okubasiibula ate era mbate tulabagane enkya mu Random Car Talk Thursday. I remain Amos Engineering Metal Works Mukono. Mumulidde Amos isizaawo akalango. Ebanye ekibuzeewo waligambye Amos Engineering Works Mukono wano bwe wati. Lero kasikafu kasomye nzukuse empewo nyingi naye ng'ateraga omusana gugenda kwaka okitegeera. Mwebagayi ate ekirala kyenna discovery nze mwabali mu kuzimba okupata na kuli cheap. Mukupata na wano omuyaye yeesibirayo. Abuguma n'akyajinga akasente ka waliwo omuyaye yeesibiddeyo ewange eyo ajja kukiwulira. Kupata na mupatanye. Asa, I watched on TV there is an electric car fueling station on Kampala Road. Babikoze kati. Because the government actually did a charging point of its own. Yes, Omni Wandiambi, Arthur, can we get some answers about the raffle valvematic? Zitandika kumodochi. I'm going to give you an answer tomorrow, if that exists. It's but the Harrier actually has a valvematic. Your Harrier ina. Muchimanyi? The Harrier has it. Harrier waliwo Harrier ezo zibiri 15 zina engine ngeya Romeo neza milioni 8. It's one of the reason lwaki baziseera nti ogenda vuga kye Harrier kyo naye nga munywa amafuta ge gamu n'owa Romeo ezo ezitali hybrid okitegeera ezitali hybrid zo ezitali hybrid zo ziba ne engine ngeya valve ngeya Romeo e 18. So you can imagine driving a Harrier naye ng'onywanga Romeo. But still me, if I had the choice and the money to buy, I would actually buy an electric car, because electric cars now can give you up to 200 kilometers before you have to recharge. So I'd buy an electric car because then I know that I don't have to buy fuel. And being an electric car, or in ebintu ebirala byoyinza okuwona, engine oil, which tell you, of course, then I have to see what costs that come with you having an electric car. But me, I would choose electric. I would not even choose hybrid. Na electric cars nagenzo researching. Electric cars ziri mu million 15. It's probably one of the reasons why Kira Motors, because Kira Motors is a local company, it should ideally be cheap, but even their cars are not cheap. Watch together, because they have the Kira EVs, but they are not still cheap. Electric cars, I think, are very expensive to produce. But then also, botandika okuluza electric cars ne spare wazo alabika naita kolachi, alabika naita alabika. But me, on any day, I would choose electric over hybrid and over of course the combustion engine. I would choose electric. So whatever you would choose, probably that's a story for some time. Yes. Kale bagai kamba sibuli omukama abampeere omukisa. I'll see you tomorrow in the Random Car Talk Thursday. Tweteremu saala abagenda okugula emmoroka ewiiki eno mukama abawe omukisa. Of course abawene sente muzireete. May God bless you. Ciao.